In a small town in Scotland, nearly 300 years ago, a young boy named AdamSmith was born. He wasn't the type you'd expect to change the world: quiet, introverted, prone to long, pensive walks alone. But the young Smith had a curiosity that couldn't be contained, a mind that seemed to hum with questions about human nature, morality, and the invisible threads that connected individuals into society. This was 1723, and Smith was raised by his mother, a gentle but strong woman who saw in her son a spark of brilliance. In the evenings, they would sit by the fire, and she would tell him stories of honor, compassion, and the bravery of small acts. This laid the foundations for his lifelong belief that people were not just economic beings, they were moral ones too. Smith grew up with a heart that understood humanity, and a mind that would later go on to shape the world of economics. The power of empathy. Adam Smith was only a boy when he first felt the profound pangs of empathy, a feeling that would later become central to his philosophy. Raised by a single mother, Margaret Douglas, after his father's early death, Smith learned resilience and compassion firsthand. Life in 18th-century Kirkcaldy, Scotland, was simple, but he would often see his mother helping neighbors in need, sharing the little they had. She taught him that wealth and power were not just measured in money but in kindness and understanding. Smith's understanding of empathy was deepened at the University of Glasgow, where he studied moral philosophy under the influential Professor Francis Hutcheson. Hutcheson encouraged his students to think about morality in terms of human connections and emotions rather than rigid rules. Inspired, Smith began to observe how people interacted, noticing that, often, people naturally cared about others' well-being, even if they had little to gain. This sympathy, as he called it, was a force that helped people relate to one another, creating a society based on mutual understanding rather than coercion. In his book The Theory of Moral Sentiments, Smith argued that sympathy was a natural and universal feeling that fostered ethical behavior. When a person empathizes with another, they begin to see the world through their eyes, which helps guide their actions. He wrote, "Man naturally desires, not only to be loved but to be lovely." By this, he meant that people inherently want to be respected and cherished by others and strive to act in ways that earn them that admiration. Today, Smith's lesson on empathy resonates in our everyday lives, reminding us to look beyond our personal needs and recognize the humanity in others. Whether in our families, workplaces, or communities, empathy allows us to bridge differences, nurture trust, and build bonds that lead to a more compassionate society. The invisible hand of self-interest. Smith's most well-known idea, the invisible hand, arose from observing the bustling markets of England and Scotland. In his early 30s, Smith traveled extensively, meeting merchants, farmers, and workers who each had their unique ways of making a living. He saw that people's lives were centered around providing for themselves and their families. However, he noticed something remarkable: although individuals pursued personal goals, their work often benefited others in unforeseen ways. In The Wealth of Nations, Smith illustrated this concept through the example of a baker, a butcher, and a brewer. Each of them works to earn a living, driven by their own needs and aspirations. But in the process, they end up providing goods and services that benefit society: bread to feed the townspeople, meat for their tables, and ale to lift their spirits. It wasn't altruism that drove them but the desire for personal gain. Yet, as if guided by an invisible hand, their self-interest produced positive outcomes for their community. Smith believed that when people had the freedom to pursue their interests in a fair and competitive environment, society would benefit. His lesson isn't an endorsement of greed or unchecked capitalism but rather a call for balance. People can pursue personal goals, but this should also contribute to the common good. He warned that monopolies, exploitation, and corruption could distort this balance, making the invisible hand a destructive force instead of a constructive one. In our modern lives, Smith's lesson on self-interest teaches us that ambition and personal goals can be powerful motivators for growth, innovation, and community contribution. However, he also reminds us to be mindful that our pursuit of success doesn't harm others or lead to greed. When guided by empathy and ethics, self-interest can be a force for good, helping individuals and societies flourish together. The importance of specialization. One of Smith's most influential contributions to economics was his insight into specialization, which he observed during a visit to a pin factory. He was fascinated by the factory's division of labor. Each worker performed a single, specific task: drawing wire, cutting it, or shaping it into pins. Alone, a single worker might have made a few pins in a day, but together, they produced thousands. This was the power of specialization. Smith saw that by focusing on a single task, workers became experts in their roles, increasing both efficiency and quality. He believed this principle could be applied across society, with each person contributing their unique skills to create something larger than themselves. Specialization, Smith argued, was key to economic progress and was a defining factor that allowed civilizations to grow and prosper. In The Wealth of Nations, Smith wrote that specialization enables people to become highly skilled, leading to innovation and progress. But he also warned of the potential downsides, noting that repetitive work could become monotonous, dulling the mind and spirit. He advocated for a balance. While specialization could increase productivity, education, and cultural pursuits were essential to keep people engaged and fulfilled. Today, Smith's lesson on specialization teaches us the value of identifying our strengths and focusing on what we do best. By honing our skills, we contribute to society more effectively and create a more efficient and prosperous world. However, he also encourages us to seek a well-rounded life, valuing education and creativity to avoid the pitfalls of monotony and stagnation. Balancing wealth and morality. Although Adam Smith is often celebrated as the father of capitalism, he was deeply concerned about the ethical implications of wealth. He recognized the potential for economic systems to improve people's lives but was wary of the dangers of unchecked materialism. Smith believed that wealth should be pursued not as an end in itself but as a means to enhance human happiness and dignity. Smith's focus on morality is evident in the theory of moral sentiments, where he argued that people should act with compassion and fairness. He observed that when individuals prioritized their values over pure profit, they created a stable and harmonious society. He believed that economic pursuits should be guided by principles of justice, honesty, and fairness. This concern for ethical behavior extended to his economic philosophy. In The Wealth of Nations, he warned that greed could lead to corruption, exploitation, and inequality. He urged business leaders and policymakers to act responsibly, ensuring that wealth creation did not come at the expense of workers, consumers, or the environment. For Smith, true wealth was not just about financial success but about contributing to the well-being of others and upholding moral values. In today's world, where material success often overshadows ethical considerations, Smith's lesson on balancing wealth and morality is a reminder that true success is about more than money. It's about creating a life that aligns with our values and contributes to society. Smith encourages us to ask ourselves, does our pursuit of wealth make the world a better place? Are we acting with integrity and empathy in our professional lives? The pursuit of knowledge and curiosity. Adam Smith's life was a testament to the pursuit of knowledge. From his early days at the University of Glasgow to his later years as a professor at the University of Edinburgh, Smith was constantly seeking to understand the world around him. He studied a wide range of subjects, including history, philosophy, literature, and science, believing that a well-rounded education was essential for a meaningful life. Smith's curiosity led him to develop groundbreaking ideas in economics, but it also gave him a deep appreciation for the arts, culture, and human nature. He encouraged his students to explore diverse fields of knowledge, believing that each discipline offered unique insights into the human experience. For Smith, learning was a lifelong journey, a way to keep one's mind active and engaged with the world. In his writing, Smith emphasized the importance of critical thinking and open-mindedness. He believed that wisdom came from understanding different perspectives and challenging one's assumptions. His lesson on the pursuit of knowledge encourages us to cultivate curiosity, remain humble in our understanding, and seek wisdom from various sources. In our modern lives, Smith's lesson reminds us that personal growth isn't confined to a single area. He invites us to explore new ideas, challenge ourselves, and approach life with a spirit of curiosity and discovery. Whether through formal education, reading, or personal experiences, continuous learning helps us become more adaptable, resilient, and insightful individuals. Humility and acknowledging limitations. Despite his intellectual achievements, Adam Smith remained humble throughout his life. He rarely sought recognition for his work and often downplayed his contributions. His humility stemmed from a deep understanding of human limitations and an awareness that no individual could hold all the answers. Smith believed that wisdom came from listening, observing, and remaining open to the perspectives of others. Smith's humility was evident in his personal life as well. Known for his quiet demeanor and modest lifestyle, he was more interested in the pursuit of knowledge than in fame or wealth. Even in his interactions with friends and colleagues, he was thoughtful and considerate, always seeking to learn from others rather than dominate conversations. In The Theory of Moral Sentiments, Smith argued that humility was a crucial virtue, one that allowed individuals to recognize their faults and strive for improvement. He believed that humility fostered empathy and respect, helping people build stronger and more meaningful connections with others. Today, Smith's lesson on humility is a powerful reminder that true wisdom lies in acknowledging our limitations. In a world that often celebrates self-promotion and individualism, Smith's approach encourages us to value collaboration, seek advice, and remain open to new ideas. His humility teaches us that we all have something to learn and that the journey toward wisdom is a shared experience. Conclusion: the timeless legacy of Adam Smith's lessons. Adam Smith's life and teachings go beyond economics. They offer a philosophy of life grounded in empathy, integrity, curiosity, and humility. His lessons encourage us to pursue our goals, not just for personal gain but as a way to contribute to the common good. He reminds us that true wealth is about more than material success. It's about creating a meaningful life, one that honors our values, connects us with others, and leaves a positive impact on the world. In a world that often prioritizes personal ambition and financial success, Adam Smith's wisdom is a powerful reminder that success is most fulfilling when it is guided by compassion, ethics, and a desire to make a difference. Through his life and work, Smith leaves us with a legacy that transcends time, a call to live with purpose, empathy, and integrity in every aspect of our lives.